for a team like EG that sometimes does play a little stable and slow, it's definitely something you don't want in the game. It's kind of like the old ogre, basically.
It feels to me like both of these have theory crafted this draft already, because we've got Baboka's Monkey King has come out first for IG, and EG have immediately locked in the Kotl and the Abaddon. We've already seen how the Kotl works pretty decently in not necessarily directly countering the Monkey King, but at least giving you the vision.
It gives you the vision, and it gives you blinding light push, which can potentially get him out of really annoying circle spell. I forget the name of it, but
actually,
Harambe's Revenge, whatever it is, you know.
Can't remember.
Lina, it's still like I like the Lina pickup here because it can still work very well with the Monkey King as a support duo. You've got a leading stun from Monkey King that can follow up into the LSA. More likely though, we're gonna it's like 60% we're gonna see it as a mid, just because it is one of those mids that you can pick up and not have to worry about the matchup too much, and you don't have to worry about like your mid game impact. You can't really be countered too heavily as a Lina, simply because just a little bit of things like it's the Bloodstone and the low respawn time. It's the fact that you still scale later into the game, turning in right clicker, and it's also just first and foremost, I think it's a mid that draws attention away from your other carries. So
it's a fairly safe 2-pick as well, isn't it? In that if you do get it countered or you feel like it's going to be a bit vulnerable, you can often change it into a...
Yeah, absolutely. I do kind of prefer Evil Genius's opener a little bit more, though. The Abaddon is a super safe offlaner right now, is heavily impactful. And then the Keeper of the Light allows them to be able to make it so the Abaddon does win his lane. You know, push out, pull the hard camp to get the extra experience. Abaddon probably gets his level 3 pretty easily, and then from there, the lane is kind of a breeze.
I think they really need a lot of heroes like Lina too, just so that they can counteract a lot of the Kotl push, because so many teams just use it to constantly push out all the lanes, and then even if you get a gold advantage, it's difficult to take a fight because it's hard to get your 5 heroes near an enemy tower while you're pushing without being threatened with split push. So heroes like Lina really protect you in that way as well.
Yeah, like just good lane shove. And do you think they need a support that does that as well?
It definitely can help a lot. Monkey King has some problems with that. I don't remember which series we watched yesterday, but it was similar kind of problem. Monkey King always looking for heroes, but they never got to push lanes as a result, so then the game got really static. It was the one with the Shadow Fiend, I believe, who went Shadowblade first. Yeah, IGV or something. Or I don't know. It was a Chinese team. But definitely, it was a big issue. I think it was against EG. Can't remember. But it happened.
Yeah, no,
I think it was an LFY game. It's like the Monkey King just like wanders around. He's not really having an impact, and when it comes to controlling the map, he's just kind of looking for those kills. So support heroes like Dazzle is a really good example of a good shoving hero. You know, burst down waves with the heal, and isn't too heavily punished. You know, it's not a hero that you're like, oh god, we lost our Dazzle because he was dealing with split push. You know, they want to smoke gank him, that's fine.
I'm rather banned towards their offlane hero. The Legion Commander is most typically his #1 pick, so he's going to have to play something he's a little less comfortable with. 3 out of 4 offlane bans at the moment.
Yeah, and Legion Commander is a really good counter to the Keeper of the Light as well, with the press the attack, removing off the mana leak as well as the blind. Because that is the one thing is that Kotl's able to defend these towers, and he also has this catching mechanism, mana leak. So if you can remove that, it makes it a lot easier to extract yourself. From here on out, though, I think that you pick up the... We haven't seen the other roamer. I was just about to say, you want to keep your other 2 cores kind of secret right now, so you pick up the Earth Spirit. I don't think there was too many other 4 positions that you could pick up at this point. Maybe Spirit Breaker would be the other one that I would suggest. But
He's so mediocre against Monkey.
Yeah.
It's so easy to stun him on his charge in and punish him afterwards.
Yeah, presumably that's it.
Yep, for sure. And Earth Spirit obviously is pretty equivalent roam to what Monkey King can provide in a lot of ways. So they can offset that a bit. They still have good lane push. The CM pick for IG guarantees a lot more mana though. So Monkey King will be able to get more done in the early game, Lina as well. But I do like how things are looking for EG right now. I feel like they've got really solid picks for what they're up against. Now it just comes down to counter-picking cores and stuff like that. Oh, he shaved. Okay.
A lot of logic.
I told Blitz yesterday, I was like, dude, tell Arteezy to take that beard off. It's not good. I don't know if he told him or not, but
and it's gone.
he took it off. Maybe he doesn't want to be seen eating his beard anymore.
Maybe the Reddit thread spooked him to bed.
Yeah.
That really creepy Reddit thread.
That was a very creepy Reddit thread. Quite how you have the amount of time to do threads, I have no idea. But yeah, there is a logic to these drafts, which we didn't always see yesterday, Kevin. there were picks where we sort of went, oh, well, well, we're not sure how that fits in now.
Yeah, it starts to make a lot more sense when everybody gets used to what's the most popular stuff.
Yeah.
Like now we're looking at the bans, it all looks really good for the meta right now, but if you go back like 2 days, then people were throwing in Earth Spirit bans in first round and consistent Abaddon bans, and now it's all like the power heroes of the patch so far, which is Magnus, Centaur. Even like Jug was sometimes banned first round and now is being pushed back a little bit. Things like that. The meta's updating now. The drafts make more sense.
I think one of the things you have to decide is EG is going to say you probably pick up the Invoker if you want it right now because it's going to be 5th ban. So you're actually going to leave Arteezy your last pick instead, just because of the fact that I think Invoker was probably the best pickup here. He's still, IG are is still a pretty good position though because they have really great roaming potential to catch the Invoker with the Monkey King Lina. As opposed to other mids, you see Alchemist, SF, Storm Spirit, these sort of mids are oftentimes only in lane until like level 4 or 5, and then they back out to do some efficiency things in jungle. Invoker has more of a lasting presence in lane, so he's more exposed to these roamers. So this mid matchup of Lina versus Invoker, and then you add in the extra factor there of Bobika's Monkey King that's going to be coming in, gets the initiation, leads with the stun, follow-up LSA. They can pressure the Invoker quite a bit. So I think IG is still in a good position, but I think it was the best choice for you to grab Invoker now.
You think this is Sumail's best hero right now in this?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
His performances on the hero were just incredible.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to think that the hero is going to get nerfed again if this continues.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sumail, stop it! You're ruining everyone's Invoker.
Well, it's kind of interesting. There's still been updates, though. People, Invokers are going back to the +1 Forge Spirit, which when that talent tree first came out, I couldn't believe that anyone would ever grab the opposite. But Invokers just farm so fast, and I think a big obviousness about how players are playing the game right now, it's very ancient focused. Like a lot of players are stacking ancients consistently, sitting by ancients. Just that's really the focus because you don't have to move that much. They're fairly easy to clear depending on what you get. So. You can get a lot of levels regardless, so now people don't get the experience talent anymore, and they get more Forge Spirits, so Sumail's definitely good on the hero, that's clear.
Not surprising they pick up the Nyx Assassin. The Chinese scene was really valuing the Nyx Assassin leading into this tournament, and obviously you have an Invoker on the other side, so it gives it a little bit more value. It does mean because of the Lina pickup, and this is the slight shift when this weird Lina mid, because we're seeing more of our mids oftentimes be the carries. When you pick up this Lina mid, it means you do have your safe laner who's going to be your true carry. And that means many of the more aggressive style heroes that are coming out from the safe lane are no longer in your repertoire. So say, for example, Weaver and Ursa, those are good matchup heroes against the Abaddon, put pressure on that guy. You don't want to allow that Abaddon just to be able to get whatever farm you can, so you try and pick up a laning phase carry that has heavy impact on that offlaner. But they can't do that because they need a harder carry. I think that is one of the downsides of this early Lina pickup. So we're looking more like they ban away the Anti-Mage on Evil Geniuses. I think maybe Terrorblade if they want to try and play this pretty fast.
It's definitely going to be TB because they already have 3 out of 4 Arcana heroes, and that's the only carry Arcana I can think of.
It is difficult though, right? Because they're pushing into Abaddon Coddle. These heroes are fantastic for defending towers. You park the Abaddon in front of a push, and then you have the Coddle also Luminate blasting, and it's really hard to eat through that. So it may have to be more of like a hard carry, and that's why EG ban away Anti-Mage, right? They're not afraid of a pushing carry that kind of scales. They're afraid of like a true hard carry who just farms and farms and farms and reaches a certain peak.
With the troll ban, I feel like it's a little bit of a tell for what IG may go for.
I was going to say Spectre. I was like, maybe this is a Spectre game because there's not too many heroes left that are true hard carries like that.
It is a BurNIng hero. Strictly.
Yeah.
I think Spectre can work, but it definitely has some issues. It's easily pressurable by heroes like Earth Spirit. Invoker has so much damage output that Spectre's above average tankiness doesn't seem that bad, but it also does fit into their lineup fairly well. Like either Monkey King's Crystal Maiden, Nyx can go somewhere, set up a kill. Spectre can show up and secure that.
Have you seen any good Spectre games that are in the last 2 days? Because it feels like we haven't seen
any
that.
Spectre games.
Well, there was that.
We've seen a couple of Spectre games, but they haven't been good.
We won't talk about that NP Spectre game.
No,
that one's
I
very
must have
bad.
missed that.
It was basically like 3 minutes laning into the jungle.
You have to have a lineup like this where you have 4 super aggressive heroes.
I like this.
That's a first pick Clinkz. We haven't had a Clinkz so far.
That is cool.
It's lots
like
of
that?
physical damage. It's physical damage with minus armor is really good against Spectre. I would say it's pretty good. It could have some issues though, because they'll be able to find him, gank him. They have some lockdown issues. They don't have a lot that combos with Sunstrike is definitely part of their issues as well on EG.
Any other issues you spot in those drafts?
No, I actually really like the Clinkz because I think they needed a heavy single target physical damage dealer that would be able to create space and take towers early against a Spectre, right? You want to take those objectives. But I could only see Weaver in my head. That's the only hero I could come up with, and you can't run Weaver very well against Nick. So yeah. I think it's the best
That
thing.
makes
Like
sense.
it's another sort of Deso sort of single target focus. I like it a lot.
Okay. Good stuff. We'll hear more from Cap and from Purge, of course, at the end of our first game. And a quick reminder for you at home, if you're just tuning in, this is a big game for both teams. If IG win the opening game, they're guaranteed a place in the upper bracket of the main event. We'll play for as EG go hunting for a 3-point margin in this big matchup. Let's find out how they get on in game one with TobiWan and Merlini.
Well, Merlini, as Red was saying, there's a lot on the line. Victor's Gaming, will they be able to do it? XXS was kind of the big focus ban out and shutdown of the draft out of EG, but they still seem to have a lot of power in their lineup.
Spectre, boo, thumbs down. The hero gets wrecked by Abba in lane.
You can't say things like that. You were Mr. I want to have a Naga game yesterday.
It was facetious, Toby.
It was,
Actually, that was a good Naga game. But I like Spectre. I like playing Spectre. But every time I see Abba or Centaur or any good offlaner in this patch, like Timbersaw, you just oh man, my laning phase is miserable. Especially if you don't have a Lich. But this time it will be a Crystal Maiden on their side. Babysit good old BurNIng.
babysit them up.
I always like series when there's a lot on the line. This series determines upper bracket seeding for Group B, and we are on the final day, so it's our last chance.
And it's the group everyone was thinking was going to be right, like everyone just sitting on top of each other. It's exactly what has happened. There's only one team out of this entire group which is not capable of actually making the top two. It's rough, to say the least. But we'll see how we go as Invictus Gaming. This is something which I'm looking forward to seeing from them too, is just how the spec does function. We're talking about like how much harassment can be taken by the spec, but you've then got this IG lineup with the mid laner. We've seen it time and time again with the low respawn time, a talent being skilled up, where Invictus Gaming end up in these huge fights. He actually gets the you'll get the bounty rune, but he's got stun level 1. Can turn for a 3-man stun, potentially just walk out of here at the moment. And that's exactly what's going to happen. They're not close enough to do enough damage to kill off XXX.
I wonder if Zai was considering skilling Mana Leak at that point. Might have. I guess he could have just turned around and stunned. And then
Yeah, he already had the Luminate, so no joy in that front. Yeah, but how does the spec work? Because I'm expecting IG to end up in these mid brawls where you don't even care if OP dies at the very start because he's just going to come back and dish all the damage out again.
He's their main right clicker, although Spectre's not actually a right clicker. Right clicker I think of as heroes that are good for speed game. Spectre actually doesn't. But he is that heavy farmer that they need. Just off lane. Generally their play. So you want the AFK farmer. To get that range creep.
Gotta get the farm. Bottom lane is actually looking pretty difficult for Universe. You got both the Crystal Maiden as well as the Monkey King going against him, and it's one of the very few times not seeing Monkey King up in the trees early on. He's looking for just the raw harassment with that early PMS against Universe.
This is your main concern when you run a Spectre, though, is that you'll get run over in the safe lane. So I think it's completely necessary that Monkey King is parked here the entire time. Jingu Mastery is quite good versus Abba. Generally, Abba doesn't really care, and he will just trade against any, but very difficult.
Reason why is skilled up, top lane, a little bit more trouble again for the next assassin. Gotta be careful about the amount of damage that Clinkz can pump out at him, but Crit can't keep the control up. And Nyx will be forced back potentially just to trigger the shrine, or he just actually ferries out some extra, not even extra life. The courier came up to him, just gave him a mango. You're in a couple of those.
Yeah. He's not level 2 yet. That's a slight issue for him. Well, we do see rotation coming crit, but overall, they haven't been able to completely zone out level 2 spot for him. Dolan.
Yeah, haste runed Crystal Maiden to steal off the first bounty rune.
He didn't actually sleep.
Didn't he?
Nope.
He still managed to pick one up.
Yeah, so I got one.
The mid looks to be going pretty well for the Lina. 14 for 1, then you got the 14-11. BurNIng is just denying the living crap out of the bottom lane. Like, Abaddon has 1 denied to his name. That's all he's managed to pick up from the lane, and you're still committing both the Coddle as well as the Abaddon to keep this bottom lane running.
Baboka's spacing them out quite well. I can't actually get close enough to the creep, harass BurNIng and shove into lane. What you want to do as a... From a lot of the Chinese teams, they have, like Monkey King, got him in the tree. Is that clarity? Nope.
If you can stop Zai from having that, then maybe you could slow slow it down.
BurNIng could just throw a dagger at him. He's full mana, and he has level 2 dagger. I think it's
Actually, have we even seen a single dagger come out from BurNIng yet?
No. Got to start that innate natural regeneration. But maybe he wanted to say double dagger. God, that thing's such a long cooldown that it's really rare that you...
Obuka gonna again just get in the face of Universe. BurNIng doesn't really care about this. It's all just like clearance. So maybe this is the question mark. Like, are EG happy to accept the status quo, or do they want to rotate out? Like, when does the Clinkz start moving? Is it after the tier 1 tower drops, or is there another objective the Clinkz wants?
It just depends on his time. Level 7-ish with Soul Ring, I think, is a pretty good time for him to run around. Aid. But he doesn't actually have good setup. It's heavily reliant on Earth.
This time they're going on Universe quite heavily, and you're going to get all 4 hits out, so Universe got to be careful how much damage he takes. BurNIng is going in very deep for this. He doesn't have any Tessellate up, or will it be enough? It will be. BurNIng will take the kill under the tower. Zai wants some revenge, but now he may also be in trouble. BurNIng will throw out the dagger quickly up on the hill and around. The Sunstrike was also looking to help out, but it won't happen. Q will find the extra kill onto Zai. And Invictus Gaming will take 2 kills on the bottom lane.
I like the very aggressive build from BurNIng, the 2-1-0 build. He didn't actually go point and dispersion, which generally a little bit better for laning. But yeah, the Desolate damage really added up. Those Keeper wasn't actually really close to the Abba, so he entire time.
Hold hands and make sure that doesn't trigger. But Invictus Gaming now off to a fantastic start. The Spec was meant to have more of a being harassed in lane kind of start, and now it's the other way around.
The 2 supports have been doing. They know exactly how to play around this. You just have to make sure that you get at the bare minimum level 6 in lane, I would say, and then you're kind of okay. Then you can just run around with Urn and Phase, kill people. But up until that point, Spectre is one of the weakest here.
Yeah, you got to give it time. Speaking of time, you can look at the Nyx Assassin also trying to get to his level 6. Hasn't been able to be zoned down that top lane just because the Coddle's been sitting on bottom lane the entire time. And, well, what's really been the impact of the Earth Spirit? This is meant to, like, win what lane?
He slowed down a bit. Come on, Toby. Give
A
him
little
some credit.
bit. A little bit.
He's a solo Earth Spirit trying to control up mid and top, and potentially like TP and save bottom, but they just have hard lane matchup. The Lina is, I would say, a favorite in most one-on-ones. I'm struggling to think of a one-on-one where it's actually not favored because she has really good right-click damage, really good at right-click spells to spam. Obuka, I mean, he's not really scared of Keeper.
Yeah, he really isn't. He knows he can fight and potentially win. I think he was more hunting for the Courier, which was doing its little berry work on top lane instead.
He saw that bounty. Making the supports kind of fear for their lives. Don't really know where to go right now.
Well, what do you do if you're EG? Because right now it feels like IG are the ones controlling when the attacks are coming. Just like this, into mid lane, stun will be there, but they bring Dust, a quick Laguna Blade. And OP gets the rotation he needs to help him win that mid lane against Sumail. Illuminate to hit, Spy Carapace won't come up, so Nyx Assassin will be the casualty in return and the first kill for EG.
Bobo's playing really well. He's secured Spectre's lane, and he had that Dust already prepped for that mid kill to set up as soon as the Lina gets 6. So now they've kind of gotten past the hardest part of the game, I would say, for them. BurNIng's almost level 6, so they can continue to chain kills onto the Invoker, and this is all before the Clinkz is ready. Clinkz is mana burned down. He has a Sage Mask and an Aquila, and he's still at 0 mana. He needs chakras, he needs the Soul Ring from base. Chicken is coming. BurNIng still, despite having 2 kills, you can't really leave him alone. Yeah. Soon.
That's still on a baton in the lane. That's why you bring in the extra help. So already Monkey King is back, jumping in for his spring. Universe can be slowed down. Q's waiting for it, and there's your first stun. And Universe, you can shield up, but it will not save you. As Bebeka will claim his first kill of the game.
Like a win in the draft for IG, give away ABBA and take Monkey King.
Yeah.
Because Monkey King is destroying him right now.
And Bebeka is like, you looked at the draft as well. Like, I was thinking XXS was going to be the primary target. Like, you saw the Magnus being the first ban out, the Respect, and it's kind of just sitting in the head because of the amazing game he played yesterday. But also the Earth Spirit that came out from IG yesterday with their rotations is doing so much. Maybe it's almost a tribute to what IG always has been with the support rotations dictating the course of the game.
And Bebeka is playing really well this tournament. But Arteezy wants to move up a little bit. They're giving levels and space to the keeper up top. It's time to make that rotation. I wonder if he's going to go Helm of Dom this game. Helm of Dom is not really favored versus Crystal Maiden. It's awful actually.
Oh, Spectral Haunt, they're going top lane. That's the first fight they want. In behind the tower, going to find Zai. And the perfect timing for it as well, because the Spectral Haunt reveals EG's aggressive maneuver. Arteezy left the lane and IG just attack.
They've seen one too many Clinkz replay.
Oh, Samael. If it is stunned, no, it won't connect. Whew.
EG's actually, I think, one of the teams that picks up Clinkz a lot to invade the jungle. But the thing is, IG are already prepared for that. They've swapped the Spectre to the top lane to get some farm, and CM's just sitting at the tower on the bottom lane. And if they dive her, it's going to be very difficult one. Escape unscathed.
Well, that's why they're bringing help. The two-man smoke rotation crit is so close by. Remember, they still should have, they have that dust on the Monkey King.
I think they need Lina in here.
Oh, the jump forward, the smoke's going to break. They know that Arteezy is there, so they pounce forward. Arteezy still not going to be revealed just yet, but that invis will wear off in a second. And it's the stuns, the TPs are coming in, the double stun by Bebeka, and then the spring in, catching up the 3 heroes. BurNIng's already down as Lacuna Blade, OP, ready for the double kill, bounces up towards Universe. They'll trigger off the ulti on him, but the rest of IG, hot on the tail. Stun should be ready in just a second. In fact, there it is, the damage is out. And EG, out-rotated by IG. It looked like IG even knew about that. Like that Lina bought 2 TP scrolls the second that rotation happened on the bottom lane before this fight.
But they definitely knew what was up because Clinkz has been off the map, and they know they're up against a Spectre. You can't just trade farm versus Spectre. He'll just... Knew the rotation was coming. They already scouted that clear, but I think the Monkey King just destroyed that game. He sprung to the right tree and then did the double boundless strike, which set up for the double impale, and then the double stun from the Lina. So the Monkey King set it all up, and his positioning was really, really good. Hopping from tree.
And riding the cloud of victory, Bebeka. They'll look for their new target, drawing the line to try and check out the jungle, and they are going to find Arteezy. Question is, can the stuns control him just enough? Sentry wards are down, and the answer is most definitely yes. Arteezy will fall. They give the kill over towards the Lina.
IG is running them over right now, and they had a Haunt just in case EG wanted to put up some resistance, and Clinkz has been shut down. Last 3 minutes has just been him running around and dying twice. He was meant to be the one that's supposed to control the mid game for them. So now it's up to Invoker. He has his Midas, he's farming up those camps with love the farm, but he's kind of their only hope for this mid game.
Farm the only safe place you've got. Invictus Gaming did this yesterday as well. Like, you take one good fight. This is even before they took out the Tier 1 tower in their series yesterday. They just put down these aggressive observer wards inside the dire jungle. They're going to see where EG is farming. They're going to see where they're maneuvering.
And they have really good catch for that. Nyx Assassin for additional scouting potential, and Haunts they can call in at any time to get an additional kill. So Invoker is still the highest on the dire side, but the Clinkz, I think, very worrisome. Clinkz relative Spectre, and he's forced to show on the map and farm everyone on IG side feel very safe. How are they going to get kills with a Clinkz? Like Earth Spirit plus Sunstrike is mediocre at best, but their lineup was meant to be hitting towers. Curse of Avernus plus Clinkz right click is supposed to mow down towers, but they haven't even been in a position to really get close to towers aside from the T1.
They're coming again. The gangs continue to work for Invictus Gaming. They're going to commit a smoke up, and I'm wondering if they're looking for some mail or if they really want to try and find Arteezy. So invading of the jungle. Arteezy has backed off the top lane. BurNIng, the smoke is going to break the dust. It actually connects the long-range stun, and BurNIng will arrive. Even the ultimate from Monkey King. He'll make the circle of doom.
And just 3 ultis for your Clinkz. they expected Invoker actually at the Ancient. That's why they were so hesitant. Well, this could be pretty bad, especially with the Shrine up, but we were not in that position at yeah.
So what's the saving grace? You got IG hunting basically the entire map against EG. How do EG stop the bleeding and then work to get themselves back on top?
Their lineup's pretty well geared for defending towers. Keeper plus Invoker is really, really good. And IG don't have a great tower hitter until it gets her right level 15. And you know, they're not worried about their tower getting under siege, but you got to worry about the Spectre getting farmed. And Spectre with Blade Mail later is going to be able to destroy the Invoker. So
oh, they're breaking the smoke. BurNIng needs to jump away up to the trees and so quickly down. The kick will fly through. An extra stun, but they'll have to sacrifice the Crystal Maiden. Not really the kill that EG was searching for, but they'll take whatever they can get. Unless this is actually really the rebuttal.
They don't have enough.
Oh, Zai's recalling in. Okay, maybe not worth the fight then.
Yeah, it's not worth the fight, but they would need, let's say, the loot. In and baited by the bounty room. Oh man, that's so many kills for Spectre. 2,000 gold already on back.
A 306 KDA. Not too shabby. Phase boots earn, and then you still feel confident if you can go directly into Radiance as opposed to building more combat early items.
Any damage over 5 armor, he's not scared. 20 damage is pretty decent, but the thing about Spectre is your illusions don't get plus damage. A lot of your damage from Haunt is from the Desolate. So people actually don't like getting plus, want like attack speed or something like that. So plus 20 damage is not as good as it seems, but he's not really worried about just to deal. But it does help you farm faster. That's definitely the best part about it.
This warding game of Invictus Gaming. Okay, Zai. BurNIng is watching you. We'll have another Spectral Haunt in. Wait for the extra stun. Zai, only still up for the moment and running back to the tower. So Spectral Haunt doesn't reap a reward for the first time in the game.
Look at where they are, though. There's all in between their T2 and a T3 in the mid lane. They're all scared. They're all deathly afraid.
Yep.
IG.
Well, rightly so. Like, they don't see anything. The Observer and Sentry Ward that just got deep-watered inside the Radiant jungle was their only aggressive vision, and the only other defensive ward they have is next to their own Ancients. It's a very, very dark map for EG, and they've got to be scared of the trees. The Monkey King is just bouncing around. The Nyx invis as well. There's nowhere really safe. Universe is the only one farming up what used to be the Invoker's safest place to farm.
They can't group up with Abba, but they can't split up. You split up versus Nyx, you die.
Yep.
So they just have to stick together, try and bait out some heroes and counter game. Oka is getting so much vision, playing perfection.
Well, there's your Blink Dagger on the Nyx Assassin, so jump in initiation for IG's become better. And then Nyx has had a fantastic game as well, more net worth than the Spec.
I might have said Blink. Bird's life is going to be very, very difficult. You have a Spectre like haunting onto you, and you have to worry about a Nyx being able to reflect your illuminates. It's actually, I think, a small oversight by EG not banning out. It's very common to ban out.
So it's going to connect, BurNIng's there, the kick, but then again, you do have the Monkey King ulti down. Arteezy has to walk back away from the rest of the Kings, but it won't be possible. Nyx Assassin right on the tail, and BurNIng, he'll even survive. Down to 35 HP, triggers up the one charger, stays up, and Evil Geniuses thought they were setting the trap with the Earth Spirit.
He's so good at staying in a circle, too. Like, he was really low, but he's like, I'm just going to run around my circle. You're going to have to walk through my, what do you call them, statues?
Yep.
Circular formation of soldiers. I don't actually know.
We'll just call them soldiers then.
Soldiers,
yeah. The King's soldiers. Be better as like the King's Guard.
That's what they look like. I like it when Rubik steals it. And are those still? I guess more like minions.
There should be little Rublings. It'll be Rublings.
King.
They could have him like it could be epic, man. He's a king. He has the King's Guard.
That's true. But they're all like replicas of himself.
Yeah. But nothing is as good as the original. Alright, alright.
Okay, so
The Aghanim's is there.
Sumail's still have pretty far.
Yep.
He's only died once, and that was pretty early on, and he still has an 18-minute Midas Scepter, which is not amazing. I think I've seen like 13, 14, but still pretty good. 14-3. Right now, you want to be, you know, you want to have all the team wins out of VG and looking to start Roche because you have Clinkz on there. They are just not in the position to do so. They could potentially still sneak Roche though. Curse of Avernus is max on Universe. He went 144, and then you have Clinkz with minus armor. Maybe once he's not going for the Dominator. To the Clinkz, he's actually scared about
BKB.
No, he's going for. Oh, I saw a Lance earlier.
He's got a BKB
Wow,
in his
he's
quick
that
buy
scared.
now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is a very defensive Clinkz. Like even if it was like a Desolator, he could look just to take out the tier 1 house and get that injection of money into Evil Geniuses. But with a full BKB, they must be preparing for a very heavy storm that IG is going to come at them.
He has the support philosophy in mind. Get gold by not dying. BKB is really good against their team until Monkey King gets items. And Monkey King, he is building BKB. Yeah, Spectre, yeah, he has Radiant, so it's gonna help him survive. Or just getting chains done. Quite the possibility of that.
And even at this point, there's a nice sentry ward. This is a nice pick off, especially when it's Sumail who gets the kill. 419 gold into him.
Yeah, he's quite a bit. Wasn't able to spend any of his side, but losing the T2 is not good. There's mass TPs coming in from the shrine from behind.
Yeah, they're looking to ramp around. Maybe they can find the opening, but they need a quick slow. Burbica gonna now go out, bringing in the King's Guard, and maybe Lilina, does she have a life with a stun? It won't be enough, but you're still fighting in the middle of both the Crystal Maiden Ultimate as well as the Monkey King. It's still enough that EG will survive, and Sumail hits the perfect tornado into the Sunstrike. Burbica cannot escape from this one. EG, a huge fight for them on the bottom lane.
And they got owned. Trying to take down the tower without Nick Sesson, and right before Spectre had his Radiance. If Spectre had a Radiance, they probably could have taken the fight. They had a lot of AoE damage coming with Alina, with the Freezing Field coming out, but not enough.
Oh, we can have a quick look at it again. So EG really wanting to get involved in this one. That rolling boulder and silence of Alina just kept it out of the fight at the start. And Q and Burbica, like, they try to create enough space, but not enough space created.
That's a lot of Sumail action right there. Really good tornado, knowing exactly where he's going to be, right at the edge of the circle in the tree.
And now Sumail is #1 net worth, very close to finishing up his own BKB.
Spectre, Radiance, looks like it is coming to him as we speak. Lina has her Shadow Blade. She wasn't able to deny herself that fight, so a lot of gold going. Looks like net worth lead only 3,000 in favor of IG.
And that steel grip they seem to have on the game gets a little bit shakier now with that bottom fight.
That's when Spectre's at his weakest. He's like trying, it's like before he gets his weight. Now that he has Radiance, you're so powerful as Spectre. Farm up everything, you can get killed by not even at the fight, and just do a lot more once you have your game is much easier. And Clinkz is not scary. Sometimes you might have to be scared of the Clinkz killing you, especially with the threat strike. But this game, I don't going to be that much Spectre.
Not for now, unless things go horribly wrong. I think Zai's trying to find the rest of his farm, build into that Aghanim Scepter, let the global work for him. And EG actually falling back to their own base. It's Invictus Gaming who was smoked up on the hunt, moving into the dire jungle.
They could have been, I think the IG's. IG doesn't have the best Roche. Good at Roche. Monkey King, I suppose, is defending the Roche, but actually I take probably need a.
IG's still now going to get some really good vision down. They put the sentry a little bit higher up, so they don't actually find the dire observer ward. So this maneuvering of IG is visible to evil geniuses.
Really nice. Oh. It's like they have a really nice sentry too. Southwest. But Lina, does she have her damage talent yet? She is.
Plus 50 is up. Ripping through the towers.
Second time Baboka's that ward.
Yeah, they really want to make sure that EG just can't come out and freely farm. Like both those observer wards watch the close and safe farming areas of evil geniuses.
Trying to squeeze in that farm. Invoker just picked up his 400 gold left on Arteezy. Can't really do too much to BurNIng. I think he probably is. Also, no way for up to Haunt. He has maxes.
Jump in, middle lane, the Sun's going to connect. It's going to be a big one if they can bring down Sumail. No buyback available. It's a minute on the sidelines, but better is the double stun. Bobeka hit it perfectly, and Crit has to run away, but he cannot go fast enough. All by his little lonesome, and BurNIng will desolate him down.
That's a really good blinding light. He pushed Baboka out of the. Yeah, but one of the downsides about BKB is you get stun locked, and Invictus sure do have a lot of stuns. It is not particularly useful. But I think he needs a listening success. Like, not really any way for him to not get stunned fight unless they start. But no Orchid. He'd really be relying on the Earth Spirit to control. Nyx is getting big. He's going to have Scepter soon, too. You're going to have to start.
He's going to find Arteezy even sooner. Jump forward, able to land off the stun. They do bring in the dust. So once again, Reveal is there, and Clinkz is now down.
He did buy his BKB, so I think his gold loss was very, very minimal. If any. But
and with that fight like succeeding, you're still going to lose the tier 2 tower up on top lane. Nothing was really going to stop that buyback or not.
Now IG just have to play around the Haunt cooldown. Haunt is seconds coming out. The only big fight that they lost was when they fought when Spectre wasn't.
He still hits like he don't even hit like a full truck yet. Like
Magic resistance. Pretty good. Invoker, Earth Spirit, Keeper. Almost straight 12% damage reduction.
TP is coming down the bottom lane as IG is just stopping the push from Evil Geniuses. There's took 4 heroes down here. So it's like EG would like to find a pick-off. And Lina is the one running directly into the middle of them. On top of the Observer and Sentry Ward, able to get the original stun, plus Laguna Blade onto Crit. The OP, he did a little bit too deep, gonna lose his life. Almost, and it will be, in fact, almost instant respawn up for him. Bobeka will fall. Arteezy will trigger his BKB. But the Lina is back up and ready to fight.
They were in a way better fortified position. Their Abba was sitting behind the Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit didn't even die that fight. And Keeper was there for the immediate blinding light. Not even a Bloodstone charge.
And Baden actually finishes his own Radiance 25 minutes in.
Oh yeah, minus Radiance on Universe. Pretty well. Just
oh, Arteezy. It just is not a fun day for him.
Even if he had BKB up and hadn't used on bottom lane side. Not great for him.
Someone needs to go over and de-ward the orbs.
Keeper has Ags too. Dire side is still farming. Arteezy kind of transitioning. Position 3, perhaps 4 soon. But good thing Universe is there to pick up the farm.
And the more he's able to pick up, the stronger that big group maneuver of EG can be. And that defense hold. Is that still IG's major problem? Yeah, we're getting ourselves a fantastic late game carry in the form of the Spec. Lina's pumping out a lot of damage, but they still need to go high ground. They still need to bring down the racks against the deep push that is EG.
And they still need better anti-BKB in actual team fights. I think they're really good at picking off people before, but if Ab
Roche?
Yeah, EG can easily do Roche. One of the big benefits of having Ab, just incredibly good.
Spectral Dagger just
doesn't have enough damage.
He's
oh
trying.
God,
like he actually he had to consume a Forge Spirit while they're doing this push. Illumina trying to keep BurNIng back as Nyx jumps in, looks for the stun, and then you've got the ultimate out from the Monkey King, covering the area. Roshan is still alive and rather annoyed everyone's knocking on his front door, but they're backing up. Laguna Blade, crit dropping down low. OP needs some space away from Sumail. He'll turn around, but he gets hit by the meteorite. He'll burn down the Magnetize. Even in death, the work is being done by the Earth Spirit and the completely bone-dry BurNIng. Moving back to the T1 tower, Blinding Light bringing him back closer towards EG, and he will go down as well. EG. Roshan was their original target, but their real target is now the entire extermination of Invictus Gaming.
Wow. Zai is having the most godly blinding lights. It pushed Monkey King out of his ulti and it trapped him on the cliff in one blinding light, and then everyone else couldn't fight because of the blinding light. That was ridiculous. Blinding light plus BKB, and they were near immune to the pit, and now they were playing the prize Roche. They fought without Haunt, and Arteezy did do a good job of baiting out that Haunt. That was his contribution in the past few minutes, but now he's able to accrue a little bit more net worth. Definitely not going to be the bearer of the ages. Far more valuable.
Keep that Invoker alive and watch the graphs go the way of evil geniuses.
They need BKBs on them. They have no physical damage on. This blinding light was so good.
Invoker comes down and then the push straight back out again.
No one can go inside the pit. BurNIng doesn't have his Haunt up, and Arteezy just quick work. Lina has his dumper combo onto the Earth Spirit. Just leaves Sumail free to do whatever he wants.
And the perfect fights for evil geniuses. They keep their dream alive of getting up into that top 2. For their group stage, if they can get this win, the path is still there. Invictus Gaming, the one sitting pretty at number 1.
They don't have a good way to deal with the app. Not terribly easy. Or they don't have any silences, so they can't prevent him from popping through. They can try and stun lock him, but if they stun lock him with like nits, it's not even going to be close enough to proc him into 400 HP.
Are you still gonna be happy though with like the spec going into the late game? Like, okay, we're talking about like the Abaddon being an issue right now, but this game looks like it could still drag on for a good 20-30 minutes now.
Yeah, like, it's not going to be great for Spectre, because like Abba can get Ags to counter the ulti, and they can just all huddle up. It's perfectly okay for them to huddle up in team fights. Like the chain stun is going to be annoying, but if Abba has ulti and Keeper's channeling Illuminate, I don't think they'll take anything on at all. Desolate will be gone, they'll heal up, and all the damage reduction for Ags is going to be. And the thing is, Universe can farm up a lot of items this game. Going for a Lotus Orb, like as his next item, Lotus Orb, great for you. They don't really have that much single Luna, I suppose, but
is it to just spell?
Yeah, dispel what, roots? Or I mean, there's not that many. Curious as to what. Let's say Ag. It's pretty useless against Spectre. Spectre goes at all. It's not particularly good against Monkey King either. Excess, I suppose, might. Small contender with Luna, I suppose, is also. I think pretty much everything he. With the Lotus might be better with the Ags, but maybe he's thinking about the future. Potentially thinking that they're going to try and shut him down with a Silent. There's nothing coming out. I guess Linas do build Bloodthorn later.
That's a pretty forward thinking right there. He assumes he's not going to get any other items for a while. I can understand that. The Clinkz, who's also just kind of like scrapping a whole bunch of earlier game items together. Already having the Crystallis. Now looking to build into the Desolator still at this point of the game.
They haven't itemized armor. They're itemizing against magic damage right now. BKB already picked up on Lina, so he needs way more physical make up for the fact that.
Actually, BurNIng actually trying to go against him. Is a Blade Mail in his quick buy?
Blade Mail is one of the best items in Spectre. Just do so much damage, just haunt into the middle of him. But it's not so great versus Abba. Abba does.
Can at least get the Clinkz off. Get the Clinkz off your tail.
Yeah, it's good versus Clinkz. It's not terribly great versus Invoker because you know one of the better items. You don't really want to go BKB on Spectre, although I think this game is probably going to be necessary for him. Come Blinding Light is. Blinding Light also mitigates a ton of damage. Go and give you
yeah.
thing.
For something a little bit more specky. EG is going to push through the top lane and to the tier 1 tower. Invictus Gaming. Choice to defend it if they wanted. They do have the Aghanim Scepter on the next assassin. But at the moment, they're just pushing down through their own jungle on the bottom. A heavy showing from Evil Geniuses on the top, and IG will know they are not ready to fight this, but in fact, they won't get there in time. It's tier 2 tower, or completely let that top lane go.
Their 5-man is so strong. Nyx Assassin can't get an angle because Keeper Ags. It's daytime right now. And they still have Aegis on Sumail, so there is very little way that IG can come. Maybe if they're like going high ground and Nyx can set up some stuns. These towers are done for.
Yeah, it's the Lina showing herself, and Arteezy, with the Alacrity buff up, now all of a sudden doesn't seem to be that, well, crap at damage. But the bottom lane's pushing in thanks to the Spec Illusions. We're going to wait 4 minutes and a bit, and a half, for Roshan to come back up again.
They smoked almost dead on the 5-minute Aegis expiration. They saw BKBs on EG, and it's up to XXS to prevent them from popping BKBs. I guess a little bit of Robocut too, if you get a good boundless strike to combo them into the chain stuns, but let's see.
It's the kill they want. If they can find the stun, they're going to hit it as well. That means follow-up with Laguna Ultimate from the Spectral Haunt. 80 seconds on the sideline, and also grabbing Zai. Blinding Light will create a little bit more space for him. Have they got one more dagger, one more stun to throw the way of Zai? He's still ticking down bit by bit. The punch will do enough, and then BurNIng to slice him up. The Gem of True Sight going to be gathered up. OP also finding an extra kill. There was Crit on the back lines. Universe trying to help out, but now he'll also get stunned. EG, one by one, they start to fall. The stun from the Nyx will hold him there. Jump into the burrow, and Lotus will try and protect him, but OP, the damage is enough. The stuns to fly in as well from Monkey King. Nowhere to run to. Evil Geniuses killed just on the footsteps of their base.
Sumail was just trying to farm up a little bit, farm out that extra wave, but it ended up being a chain feed as they lose 4 heroes and a gem right outside their tower. He couldn't really ask for that much more. Maybe he kind of thought that he still had Aegis, or come back quickly from IG, but IG were spot on with that smoke.
And Evil Geniuses, 34 minutes in, they did so well to get control of this game back. And Invictus Gaming, one fantastic fight for them. Now the stun over on Abaddon. The Blinding Light again making this very difficult for Invictus Gaming to fully finish up the bottom racks. And they're looking even deeper. Nyx Assassin's in way too deep. The Sentry Ward is there.
Oh,
So no way to survive, and he will go down. But you claim half of the bottom racks. And you stole the gem from EG.
That's a big deal. It's Nyx's life a lot easier. That was during daytime too. EG, they were balled up for so long together. That's how they got back in this game, how they swept Roche, swept all those towers, but as soon as they split up, they are so weak for Spectre. I think if they just stay as 5 for most of the game, they'll be in. Because they'll be able to pop their BKBs because Abba will be able to get the Nyx Assassin won't be able to jump because of the keep Ags. And Desolate won't do any damage if it falls up as 5. So. Yeah, EG.
With that fresh Aghanim Scepter, Sumail, he doesn't even see it coming. The Laguna Blade hits so hard.
He's getting picked off a lot.
And he's down with no buyback.
Yeah, I don't exactly know what he's trying to farm for at the moment. I guess he's going for Ultimate, which is important for him, but it's also important to not die. And there's so many invis heroes in the game. I think he's overestimating his abilities to like pop BKB, let's say, Nyx and kill. He's not going to risk getting the Vendetta hit. He's just going to try and stun him. All you need to do as Radiant is prevent him from popping his BKB. So just hitting one stun, like a Light Strike Array out of a Shadow Blade from there, or just a Earth or Impale coming out from the Nyx Assassin. Don't bother with the Vendetta. Sumail does not have buyback.
No, he does not.
To Radiant.
Oh, but IG, if they will even push this, just try and force the buyback out. And when the buyback never comes, they'll understand it. Like that tier 3 tower is still dropping. Illumina's making it difficult to push. Again, that mischance from Blinding Light being a pain. And Invictus Gaming, they are backing up a little bit more. And they're not coming in with their second creep wave.
They are able to heal up with their own. Still important. BurNIng can still fight. However, there is no haunt. Just need to wait another 40 seconds to that. I don't really fight right now.
Just take out the shrine. That's easy enough.
It's actually up to Zai to control the fight. It's usually on Earth Spirit, but Zai, he's the one with the blinding light in the mana lead, and you can't Manta out of both of them. That fight he chose to... He got blinding. It's kind of one or the other. Zai needs to be careful about stack spells.
EG are looking for some space if they can create it. The smoke gank into the Radiant jungle. Crystal Maiden is the only target who's really close by. Potentially Lina, if she moves over as Q, he'll actually break the smoke.
You don't want to go. Sorry, you don't want to kill CM. That's just not even worth it. You don't want to give weighted positioning for that.
But can they actually even properly kill her? Like, she's got a soft Ghost Scepter.
They could.
The kill is going to be difficult even with 5 of them.
Oh, Radiant has used Scam. Boom, red, we know exactly where you are, and it's high on the bounce. But splitting up is where they're at their weakest. They were S5. IG have avoided the gank. Haunt is up again. Now they can look for kills with the Nyx Assassin. Nyx Assassin and Q on the hunt.
They're so close behind. The push forward. Crit's able to rolling boulder away. Spectral Haunt comes down. It didn't block up Crit, but it's EG in full retreat back home where they know it is safe.
That's a miss. Now Roshan's up, and now they might be in the same position that they were in earlier, where they used Haunt. They didn't get a kill this time with it, but it looks like they're going to try and sneak Rose. They do have the Solar Crest on the Monkey King, which should make things a little bit quicker, but
they're uncertain about it.
Yeah, EG are in a really good spot right now.
Are they baiting them? Are they? No, they're still pushing up mid lane.
So how are IG going to handle this Roshan?
Well, they're looking at it. They're probably thinking EG's going to come over at some point. But now it's EG who get the vision of BurNIng moving into the pit, and Q being up so far, rolling boulder forward. The Ghost Set will protect him from the initial attack of Arteezy. As that Crystal Maiden is basically being pummeled on the back line by Arteezy. Throws out the half-a-second ultimate, but on the front lines, that's where Laguna Blade gets the big kill. So Mal will fall. Universe trying to do as much work as he can, but you've got OP just running in and killing off whoever he really wants to. And the bigger one is the teamfight controller. Zai will fall. Crit will go down as well in just a jiffy. And maybe the help from Arteezy. The damage is really big. Arteezy's gonna find the kill. He's still got more work to do. Bobrica becomes his next target. Couldn't get the last searing arrow off. So Arteezy was going to fall as well. He'll have buyback available. But the 3 other dead heroes of EG do not.
Tamil was unable to pop his BKB once again. It looked like Lina was able to stun lock him with a little bit of help from the Nyx. But they have to be able to allow Tamil to cast spells. And it's either he has to pop his BKB super early, it's still 8 seconds on him, so he can still pop it early, or they have to rely on the Abba to get him out of the stun lock, and I think Nyx Assassin was able to control both at the same time. I'm still not a big fan of Lotus. It hasn't really done anything for Abba, and everyone else is dying around Abba, which is your worst nightmare as Abba. If you're one of the last heroes alive, then no, that's never a good thing. They didn't cast Solar Crest on the ideal target here, and OP just got slaughtered by RPs. Able to get 2 extra kills, I think. They cast a Solar Crest on him. XSS just tries to cure it up. Still, 4 kills. Still pretty happy with that. I think it probably should have been better considering how quickly they killed the Invoker, but considering they didn't have Haunt for that fight, IG should be happy.
The fact that they're still able to claim Roshan after, and
Yeah, Spectre with Aegis. Oh man, that's not good.
The double spec. Potentially even triple if you hold on to your buyback money.
Man, Nyx Assassin has fallen far in that war. It was doing very well. It's kind of slowed down Scepter.
Well, he keeps getting caught out like that. Like EG have to expend a lot of money for it. Like they're buying up the gems, they're putting down the sentry wards, they're finding his position, and then Crit gets the quick silence. Bottom lane, Zai wants to be protected. Got Diffuser bladed up, so he's a little bit slower. Blinding Light tries to create a little bit more space to Samel. He did get the BKB off, and his Nyx Assassin being thrown around inside the ice wall, and nothing can really save the Coddle or the Clinkz. Caught up the hill and away from friends.
And another death without BKB being used. Just one of the threats of playing against a Nyx Assassin. You just always have to worry about getting stunned for so long.
And a buyback from Arteezy, which doesn't really achieve anything.
Yeah, you know, they have to buy back sooner or later, so might as well start the cooldown now, I suppose. But yeah, the Spectre is very difficult to deal with. He has Heart now, So you have to, I think you just have to kite him with a keeper, but keeper's not even up right now.
Nope.
So no blinding light spam, no mana leak. That's the only thing that's gonna stop the tower.
You put the pressure. You put the pressure on the 2,500 net worth Earth Spirit to be your controller in the fight. Very best of luck, Crit. At least BurNIng is dry again thanks to the EMP.
Oh, he didn't Manta dodge it. That's not particularly good for them because he has a lot of HP regeneration. Be able to cast his spells. Be able to Manta out of the mana. Need to be able to Manta out of the pit. Without that, they're actually not going to take the win. Where you're like, I wish I had Recall, or I wish I had Arcane Boots.
Someone would be wonderful. Hey, he can have the Vladimir's offering. That's the given now over from Monkey King. As they move in for the fight, Universe, Lotus orbed up. Here comes your Tornado, catching the Spec with the rock falling down. Now Deathling Blast is good damage from Sumail, but he's taking so much back as well. OP hitting like a truck, but he has to bail out. Arteezy's attack, it flew, but it wasn't going to be enough. Just a big stun out from the Nyx Assassin. They're still doing the work. BurNIng standing his ground and actually surviving through all of this. Now finally he will fall, of all things.
OP denied himself to heal up BurNIng. He actually sacrificed his bloodstone charges.
That's what the life was. Stun forward, Invoker's gonna fall. No way really for Sumail to survive this unless Crit's got more to throw out, but no, the Monkey King's rod can extend that far. And they just try and hold the Earth Spirit in position. No one has buyback, and that is good game well played.
Boboka is a monster on Monkey King, and XXS continues to deliver on these stunning offlaners. How many times did they die without being able to pod their BKB? That was actually ridiculous how many times they died. And IG had to be really, really happy about that.
At the same time, there were a couple of bumps in the road. EG having that really great fight on bottom lane, then they had a second one up on top when they just did that straight push through. So EG definitely found a window of opportunity to get back into the game, but I don't know, would you say it all kind of started falling apart again when you lost those 4 heroes, one after the other on the bottom lane fight?
Sumail died. He got picked off uncharacteristic amount of times.
Yeah.
And Arteezy just had one of the worst games